Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday Morning Motivation. And again, congratulations for not making excuses. So today, your usually hosts, Sofia, and myself, Janine, we're going to be the presenters. And we have a very exciting topic, which is called Coach Yourself, a Lifelong Journey. I hope you're also excited. Any words from you, Sofia?
Yeah, so it's an exciting topic. So I think everyone already knows us, right? So I'm Sofia, and we will be talking about self-coaching. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, we have just a few newcomers here from like Chengdu and so on. Happy to have you. Welcome. So Monday Morning Motivation was founded actually nearly 3 years ago now. In May, it's going to be 3 years. And for us, it's all about healthy habits, productive habits, and most important, we really want to start in a positive, inspiring, motivated way in the new day and week, no matter of what challenges life throws us. Yeah, and nowadays we also promote some pets. So if you're looking for like a cuddly kitten or like cat to keep you company, the rescuer of this cutie called Curly is unfortunately leaving China. So she's looking for a new home. As you can see, she's super, super cute. You can adopt her, you can foster her. She's a Turkish Angora and a cow mane mix. I'm a cat lover. I have cats myself, but I don't know what kind of mix this is. But she's definitely pretty. Yes, and she's looking for your loving home. If you know somebody, just scan the QR code or share it to your friends, please.
I think I can resist those beautiful eyes. I think I might consider.
That's the best. Sophia, we've been pushing you to get a cat for a long time. The question is, when are you finally ready? I know it's going to happen that day. Then we have our membership program. If you ever miss our morning calls, no problem. We have discounts with language, health products, health practitioners, coaches. We have visa people who can help you, and you would even get discount. Good. You already know our motivational book that I sometimes share quotes in our group chats. We have also journals in here on gratitude and happiness and so on. Good. Last but not least, if you love what we're doing, why not donate? So 50% goes to the 1 Million Tree Project. So they plant trees in Inner Mongolia. And the other 50% goes to MMM to cover costs for websites and so on. Good. I would say, Sophia, the stage is yours. Let's kick it off. Oh, hey, Simon. Guten Morgen.
All right.
Guten Morgen.
Good morning. Let me just share my screen. All right. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so today we're going to be talking about self-coaching, how to coach yourself, and what are the benefits of self-coaching? What are the downsides? What are the struggles, right? Because self-coaching is also not as easy as it may seem sometimes. So what is self-coaching? Oh, sorry. What is self-coaching? When you think about self-coaching, what comes to your mind? You can share in the chat. Can you share in the chat? What comes to your mind when you think about self-coaching? Self-learning? What else? Self-motivation? Talk to yourself. The way you talk to yourself, right, is very important. Learn from your experiences. Very nice. Self-dialogue. Yes, the narratives we have inside of our mind. What else?
Self-lockdown.
pushing to progress, find your inner power. Yes, right? It's all about empowering yourself. Pushing to progress and self-meditation. Great answers, great answers. Thank you so much. Yes, so self-coaching is all about that, and is much more than that, right? It's so many different things. But when we think about our problems, when sometimes we are stuck in certain situations, we usually cannot see very clearly, right? And sometimes we don't trust in ourselves, in our inner compass to solve the problems. We tend to look for answers outside. We tend to go to our friends. We tend to talk to our mom or to whoever you usually talk to when you are dealing with some problem in your life. But we are not so used, or most of us are not so used, to look inwards and try to find our inner resources and our inner answers. So actually, we usually can solve our problems better than we think. And actually, the answers are within ourselves most of the time. So it's totally okay to look for answers outside and to find help and support outside, but we also need to have our inner guidance and to build that trust, that inner trust. So now I want to challenge you to do a small exercise. So I want you to close your eyes and just relax. Just let go of everything that might be, weighting you down, or just making you feel stressed. Now it's time to let everything go. And now I want you to imagine a wise person in front of you. So just imagine a wise person. It can be yourself, or it can be someone that you really admire, someone that may have the best answer for your questions. So let's say that you are dealing with some issue in your life. Now you can bring up this problem or this challenge, and you just describe this challenge to this person, to the wise person. So you can talk in your thoughts, you can describe the whole situation. And now this person, you can ask that person for advice. So you can ask, what is the best thing that I can do in this situation? What are your thoughts on this? And you just ask for guidance. And you will notice that slowly those answers will come out. So you will realize that this person has a lot of things to tell you, right? All right. So this is one small technique that you may use with yourself to find answers, to find solutions for problems when you feel stuck, right? You can also always do that. You can, for example, hold a meeting with wise people that you admire, right? I like to do that. I like to use that technique just to meet with people that I admire in my thoughts and visualize that. And then I get answers and new insights. So that's something that you can do with yourself. So what is self-coaching? Self-coaching is the practice of guiding your own thinking in a structured way and changing your perspective towards a solution. It's the ability. Yeah.
We actually had one very nice sharing in the group chat. Maybe you can also mention that quickly.
Oh, I cannot see that.
Okay, I can read it out loud. This was for the conversation with the wise person. Thank you so much for sharing this, Anne Wang. She was saying that I'm that kind of person to find solutions from outside, but not from myself. And that wise person told me to go ahead, but I still fear it. Do you want to comment anything on that?
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, and you can you can, because you are having access to your subconscious mind when you are doing these kind of exercises, right? So you can always work around what you see. You can change things, right, in your subconscious mind. And visualization is one of the most powerful techniques to use for everything, right? You can go back and change memories. You can go to the future and plan your future in your mind, right? And our fears as well, right? So you can try to continue to do this exercise, right? And see how that what other advices that wise person tells you, right? Or you can try it more times. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. So self-coaching is then the practice of guiding yourself through your own thinking process and through and changing your perspectives on your problems, your situations in life. And it's also the ability to ask yourself good questions, important questions, and also provide honest answers, because we often struggle with telling ourselves the truth. We are often fooling ourselves, even though we are not conscious of that, because we want to avoid pain. We want to avoid the emotion, right? Sometimes it's hard to detach yourself from those painful situations. And what does self-coaching involve? The core components are self-reflection, inner dialogue, as many of you mentioned, the narratives that we have in our mind. It involves constructive thinking, the use of models, powerful coaching questions, right? This one is very powerful. Exercises like the one we just made, or strategies to coach yourself. What can go right? So what are the benefits of doing self-coaching? So some benefits may include increased self-trust. You gain confidence in yourself because you start relying more on yourself and less in the outside world and in external people or circumstances. Then you also develop a stronger self-confidence. You can easily make more conscious decisions. And you overall just start feeling that you learn more things about yourself, things that you were not even conscious about before. Of course, as you develop this self-coaching mindset, it will start being easier and easier to just have this automatic response in your mind. So you will just be able to create new results and to respond better and more consciously to new challenges in life. The good thing is also that it's free. You can do it anytime from anywhere. So it's a free resource that comes with yourself within you. And of course, it's also important to understand that self-coaching does not replace in any way coaching with a professional coach, because of course you will be assuming both the role of the coach and the coachee, which is sometimes very hard. Some things can go wrong, because of course we have sometimes lack of objectivity when we are analyzing our own life situations. It's hard to remove or to detach yourself from a situation that revolves around you. And it's also hard to be honest with ourselves sometimes. So consciously or unconsciously, people tend to fool themselves many times, right? And we also repress whatever we don't want to look at. And of course, lack of accountability. It's usually easier when we have some support outside, whether it's a friend, a family, a coach. All of that is very important. And now I will pass the word over to Janine back.
Okay. Thank you, Sofia. So you spoke about self-coaching. Very often people ask, what is coaching like? What does it look like? How does it feel like? I'm not certain. So I was thinking, maybe I can show a little piece of my own coaching session with you. So that's my coach, Fionn, and he was coaching me also last week. So I'm going to share you a little piece of how coaching with my coach looks like. And of course, it depends. With every coach, it may be a little bit different. The most important is you always have trust. So I'm going to show you like a little bit of some private things here. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Good. Okay, it should come now. Positive messages still included when I show my
so how could you show the lows and also have positive messages included?
Tough question. It's basically like maybe coaching myself in the video.
Yeah. Love it.
Like, what would my coach say? What would I tell my client?
Yeah. So if we take an example of that, of your situation right now, how would you coach yourself? I mean, which technique am I going to use? What I do somehow every day in this daily booster and motivation webinar, which is for free for people, I often like to use the 3 circles of control and influence, and and that we basically want to focus on that. And just don't focus on what is in your control. Like, for example, now it's not in the control when I get the phone call or where they would. Okay, let me quickly stop here and put this into perspective for all of you. So the question that my coach asked me, you may have answered it in a completely different way than me. What happened is that last week when I had that coaching session with Fion, I was so overwhelmed. It was not a very easy day for me. So you know that in Shanghai, we're in lockdown. And actually, they found out that I was tested positive for COVID. So as you may know, in Shanghai, people actually take you in a central quarantine facility. And so, of course, you have a lot of fears, insecurities, things popping up, you feel stuck, you have a lot of negative emotions overwhelming you. And especially when we are in the situations when you are in like challenging times, you may not have an answer to something, but asking you or having somebody to ask you the right questions can help you to get out of it. It can help you to move on and to see things from a different perspective. So that's why I was so grateful also, again, that last week I had my regular weekly coaching session with Fion to reflect on things, especially when I was so stuck. And we all are stuck at a specific time in our life, right? So Sophia and I were wondering, the 3-year anniversary from Monday Morning Motivation is coming up next month. How about we create something cool? And then Sophia was saying, and I was actually agreeing with her, and we said, oh my gosh, we're coaches, but yes, sometimes we may think we have all the answers, but we're sometimes also lazy. We have the tools, but we don't coach ourselves out of a situation. We make excuses as well. So we said, how about we have a card deck with coaching questions, like some of the most important coaching questions for 8 areas of your life. And that is what we actually have created, that we're very proud of, that we are also going to use. So those are the 8 areas of our life and work that we want to reflect on. So we have 64 coaching questions actually, and basically we can focus on career. We have questions for your personal growth, for contribution, relationships, the environment, for example, where you live in, or the work environment you work in. Social, could be friends, for example, or fun, recreation. And there's health and wealth, of course. So those are like 8 areas. And now recently, like that we are in lockdown, I realized, okay, I'm so focused on this one and only topic, and I'm still seeing how can I do my work. But the nice thing is sometimes, again, when we're so stuck, we forget that there are so many other parts of our life that make our life good that we should also focus on. So that's why I think the 8 questions that we will have here to every category can really help you to look at your life and your work from different angles. And it was interesting when Sofia and I were talking about, for example, environment or contribution. I had never seen somebody ask me about contribution. And I was like, that is interesting. Like the contribution can be like legacy, the legacy you build up in your life, or how do you contribute to society, for example. Nobody has ever asked me that question. I've always done it because I like doing it. But by asking yourself these questions, it really helps you to think outside of the box and to put things in a different perspective. Like, for example, here, what does your dream job look like? Sofia and I were both coaches, but for sure, we're both going to answer in a different way. And now, the same question may have different answers from you, whether you maybe asked that question, let's say 3 years ago, compared to maybe today. And this is totally okay. And maybe you don't have the final answer yet. It doesn't matter. Just start somewhere. Plant a seed. It's some time ago when I found out that apparently we're all running on programs. And the majority of the programs, the routines, like for example, brushing teeth, comes from the age of like till 7 actually. So it doesn't take us a lot of effort. We know how to brush our teeth, how to take a shower, right? So the interesting thing is like our brain has different frequencies, alpha, beta, theta, and so on. And researchers found out if you guys want to change a habit in your life, like a program you're running on, the best way is when you're in the theta frequency. And that theta frequency is before you actually really fall asleep, or like in the morning, a little bit after you wake up. Not immediately after waking up, but a little bit right after. So maybe you should listen to a recording in those moments. Maybe it can help you to learn a language or just change some programs or habits or the way how you maybe think about yourself. So here, I think it's important that you guys understand what is the structure of habits, because when you coach yourself, I think the easiest would be if you create a habit. Do you do it every Monday, for example? Do you do it every week? Do you do it every day or once per month? Do you do it 3 times per day or whatever is best for you, right? But what I would suggest you is, number 1, where does your motivation come from so that you don't make really big excuses? Hey, it's a cue, it's a trigger. So something must have triggered you. Like Sofia and I were saying, we're a little bit lazy of coaching ourselves, for example. Or here last week when I really had this low moment and I had my coaching session with my coach, there is a trigger. And really ask yourself, what triggers your action? Okay, like why do you want to take action now? Why is this relevant for you to maybe take a card to coach yourself or to answer the question on the card? Why is it important for you? This is where this intrinsic motivation comes from, that you do it and you don't make very high excuses. Number 2, yes, now I said do it, take action, one step after another. It's like when your goal is going to the gym 5 times per week. Or Amber, you said you are now getting up every day at 5 o'clock and it's already day 3 for you. Yes, just start somewhere. And if you just start with 1 day and you go to the gym or you wake up at least 1 time per week already at 5 a.m., hey guys, that's a good start. And maybe the second week you can add 1 more. But just continue doing. And don't forget, Knowing how your brain works has a lot of advantages. So if you know that your brain needs a reward, think about what kind of reward does your brain need, so that you maybe coach yourself, for example, or you take one card per day asking yourself a question. It could be chocolate. It could be, maybe I deserve to watch Netflix afterwards, or whatever it is, okay? So keep that in mind. And I want to give you 2 more tips on how you can create a good habit. Most important is, guys, break it down. Break it into tiny little pieces, okay? And just start with this tiny little piece. And then, as I said, you can always add more. And this actually really motivates me. So if you think about it, you do 1% more every day. For example, you want to have a 6-pack. So you start with, let's say, 5 sit-ups. And maybe the day after, you add 1 more sit-up. The day after, you add another sit-up, and so on. So if you take that habit with 1% each day, and you add 1% every day, within a year, you actually have an improvement by, oh my gosh, 37%. That is huge. For everybody who needs more numbers, who likes money here, let me give you that example. Imagine you have 100,000 RMB, and every day you add 1% more. Awesome. You have 137,000 RMB at the end. That's a huge difference, only in 1 year. Okay, now in our book, to our cards, coaching cards, we also have a few examples and some advice for you on how you can use the cards. And most important is, every one of us is different. So see what works for you, right? So Amber, for example, is getting up at 5 a.m. today, she told us. Today I got up even before 5 a.m. But some other people, they would rather, for example, work till late at night and sleep longer. It's the same example. Know yourself. With self-awareness, you can make better choices. And here, maybe you want to take every day just 1 card in the morning, and then you want to write it down in your journal. Or maybe you want to do the same in the evening. If you want to take 3 cards, it's fine too. But remember, even if you just take 1 card per day or per week, you already have made a difference in your life. You've already planted some new thoughts, ideas, inspiration. And as we coaches always say, you have all the answers inside you. So your mother or your partner doesn't have to tell you what to do, because you have it all inside here. And nobody knows the answer to all of these questions better than you do. Yes, so here's the exciting news now, finally. This week is our pre-launch week, and we have a special offer for you. So if you would like to have our Be the Coach of Your Life cards, as I said, 64 printed cards that you will get from us. But on top, if you buy it this week, you actually get a free MMM book as well as an e-version, which I will send to you after you bought it on the same day. Also, on top to getting this, the first 25 people who buy it actually get a printed version of the book to the printed cards. And everybody else in the future just gets an ebook version. But the cards will still be printed. So you can just scan the QR code if you're interested. And the nice thing is, you can even play a game with this. You can do this with your friends. You can use it by yourself, with your partner, with your family, with your colleagues and workplace as well. Yes, very simple and easy, but with a powerful impact. Okay, I would say now, guys, let's move on to your questions. Any more sharings, any more questions that you want to raise, you can type them down, or you can just like unmute yourself.
Yeah, we are open for questions, guys. Let us know. Do you coach yourself? Do you have that habit? Mathilde is saying, I always ensure about doing the right things. I mostly have a first thought. And when I think about, I see many possibilities, can choose. Well, for me, it's really about looking at those possibilities and choosing the one that feels best at the moment. Because you won't be able to, it's not going to be a decision for the whole life, most likely, right? So just don't put that much importance in just one decision. Just take it easy, and yes, there are so many possibilities open, right? There are infinite possibilities, as I like to say. So you just choose one path and that's it. And at any time you might be able to, to change another path, but just do it. Just take one step first.
Then we had the question, how can I purchase the cards? Just scan the QR code. We will also share it in the MMM group later. Kieran was mentioning one big thing you learned the most out of this quarantine experience. Oh, it was just earlier that Sofia said she now has like a more regular sleeping schedule. She gets up earlier, I think, right? I actually got, so independently of me being like COVID positive and my cats are not with me anymore in my home currently, while I'm still waiting to, well, hopefully I can stay at home. But actually, even that my cats are not here, I nowadays can open my windows so big. I have never done that before. And in the morning, it's beautiful because the sun shines in my room and it's just beautiful to start your day like this. It gives you so much positivity and energy. Another key learning is changing my habits as well. So I started to change specific habits when it comes to bedtime, eating habits. There's actually a lot of learnings and a lot of gifts, even in lockdown.
Yeah, I've been cooking a lot, right? Because it's not like we have options, but but I got really creative in cooking, especially, vegetables, because I have, I don't have the best relationship with vegetables usually, but I've been cooking vegetables in different ways and it's been really great, like to be creative, in cooking. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy, you were asking what happened afterwards you are tested positive. So it's actually today's day 15 for me. So I got tested positive by an antigen test on a Sunday night, and my flatmate, she reported me to the officials. But on the same day, I also had a PCR test. So 1 or 2 days later, they would have found out either way. And my friend is already in quarantine. To be honest, I was told by my flatmate that they would come and pick me up, bring me to the quarantine very fast. That's why I had to come up with a solution for my cats to evacuate them. But luckily, so far, I got calls from CDC and police and neighbors, but I'm still at home. So let's hope the best, and hopefully I can still at home. Who knows? Thank you. 3 of my friends, they're all in quarantine except for me. So let's just see, let's stay positive, right? Yeah, that's why insecurity, uncertainty, those fears, they're in the back of your head. They're always there, but you also learn how to manage it. And focusing on my work really helps me to stay positive and just to continue. The show must go on.
Yeah, and I think also taking action really weakens your fears, right? If you have a fear, if you start with baby steps, as Janine was saying, like the fear becomes smaller and smaller. It's just big because you are so afraid, like you are not taking action. So it looks very big, but as you move forward and you take baby steps, it just becomes smaller and smaller.
Oh, Matilda has a really nice learning. Thanks for sharing. She's saying, what I learned during COVID is to be more straight with my words. No time to lose. Great inspiration. Thank you. And Christina was saying, these days I have been teaching myself. I have a clear mind and good plans. Jayo, Christina. Good luck on that. It sounds great.
If I may.
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. So recently I started coaching like a few months back, and the impact of it is really amazing. And I would advise any and everybody to do it. And the one thing I've learned from this is asking the right questions. And I think that is some of the most important parts of you guys being coaches is you know what questions to ask. And I guess for you guys actually going into making these cards, well, I think personally it will help a lot. I would still advise getting a coach. Understand that you do have a little bit of connection, and your coach will ask the right questions based on your circumstances and what they've learned from you and stuff like that. So asking the right questions is extremely important. And like Sofia said, there's endless possibilities of options you can take and roads you can take. And I guess that in itself, if you have too many options, it creates that anxiety of which path is the right path to take. So once again, asking the right questions of where your heart is and what is the thing you're most passionate about is extremely important. Yeah, like there's a bunch of questions. I'm not a coach, but like I say, like it has a really big impact on you focusing on the right thing.
I'm happy to hear this, Janneke. Yeah, because this other person sometimes has another perspective, and especially when you're a little bit stuck and overwhelmed with your situation.
Yeah,
So,
and even ourselves as coaches, right? Last week I also hired a coach, and it has been helping me so much, really, because sometimes even as coaches we get stuck within ourselves, right? So really having this habit, first of self-coaching is very important, right? And second, really having a coach that can support you and get you outside of your mind, it really helps a lot. Yeah.
Yes. Also, Rajni was saying, oh yeah, Amber said important and necessary. Rajni was saying powerful questioning, my favorite too. Yes, they can knock you out and bring you forward.
That's right. And this is our lineup for this month, for April. So next on Wednesday, actually, in Chinese, we have Fisher Yu. He's going to be talking about the difference between coaching and therapy. Then the next week, the week after, we will have Klaus. And next Monday, we have Ken, right? And Janine, I think Janine has some nice things to say about his presentations.
Yes, I already know a few parts of his presentation. It's about climate proof your life. And to be honest, there's so many things where I felt like, oh my gosh, how's it possible? I don't know that. So I think we literally need to listen to that because it affects all of our lives, every single person. So really make sure you join us on Monday. And oh, Rajni, thanks for ordering your cards. I'm happy to hear that. Song, you were mentioning come to Tianjin. Thank you. I've never been to Tianjin. I would love to come. My friend works there as well. Song, also, thank you for always sending us a smile and also for joining us on camera. Okay, it's time.
We are fully here.
Awesome.
No.
Thank you. First, we got to get out of our lockdown. Last thing, I think Jimmy was mentoring, when you're asymptomatic, you still need to go to central quarantine. So there is no excuse normally. So, okay, but let's focus on the positive things in our life, right? So is there one thing you learned today? Think about this one tiny piece of action that you can take today in order to change your life, or maybe there's something you learned today. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues today, whether you work online or offline. But if you don't take action, and it always goes in here and goes out there, right? So just one tiny piece, that 1% can make a difference. And as we like to say at Monday Morning Motivation, stop making excuses.
Yes. That is right. Amber is saying we all need a mirror in our life. We are just too busy to listen, right? Sometimes we are too busy to listen to ourselves, right? And that's why self-coaching is so important. It's really taking that self-time to ask yourself, the questions that you need to ask yourself. So now I have one question for all of you. So what is the question that you want to be asked today?
Ooh, that's a tough one, Sofia.
Janine, can you come to Tianjin and give a couch to our staff?
I would love to. Maybe add me on WeChat. Let's get connected. I think we're not connected yet, are we?
Okay. No problem.
I'll send you my WeChat. And let's try to find an answer to Sofia's question. Yeah, connect with us on WeChat.
Let's share in the groups.
Okay, I will add your Visa. Sorry.
Thanks, Song.
Thanks, Janine.
We got some really good motivation here. Good answers already. Yeah, if you want to connect with us. What do we have here, Sofia? What's the purpose of my life from Echo?
Nice.
Did you find a job? What things did you do today that made you happy in the long run? Ooh, nice, Simon.
Thanks, Simon.
Good. Am I living the full potential of my life? Ooh, very powerful, very deep. And guys, don't get offended if you don't have the perfect answer to your questions immediately. Sometimes it takes time, like finding your purpose, but just start.
Yeah,
Rajni, Coach Rajni is saying, am I saying yes to this? What am I saying no to? Oh, sorry, Sofia.
Go ahead.
Bill is saying, what would you want if you were you fear? Yes, the QR codes here are expired because the groups are too big, actually. So you can just add me on WeChat or Sofia, and we will drag you in the group chat. Because we have actually 8 WeChat groups by now. Oh, Jimmy was saying, what I haven't tried, which I could so far in my life. Nice, you're challenging yourself.
Awesome questions. All right. Yeah, and it's not, as Janine was mentioning, it's not about finding the right perfect answer. It's about, for example, you can journal about that question, right? And you are planting seeds in your mind, and the answer will come someday, or after a while, and you will have an insight, right? It's about planting those questions in your mind as well.
Okay, everybody. So, we're going to share this also in our MMM groups. If you still want to be one of the first 25 people to get the cards. And we really, really hope you have a beautiful day, a great start in a positive, motivated, inspired way. If you learned something new, share it with your friends, your colleagues, your family, spread it forward, and have an awesome Monday.
Yeah, happy Monday, everyone. Have a beautiful Monday morning and Monday day. So have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Stay well. And thanks for joining via video as well. Bye, Simon, Song, Mark, Yannick, JP, greetings to Beijing. Rajni, greetings to Hangzhou. Zoe, Anita, oh, Natalia, good to see you as well. Lillian, Betty, and everybody else. See you next time. Bye.
See you next time, guys.
And greetings to Tianjin, Song.
Thank you, Jenny.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.